Here today with Trae Stevens of the Mathis Pirates. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing great, doing great. End of school year, we got graduation right around the corner, but everything's rocking and rolling.
Now, if you can, tell me about what's going on here. If you can see this picture.
Oh man, we're eating well. A little bit about it. So this spring, we've talked to our seniors and we talked about, one of our mantras around here is being on the ship. We're pirates, it's a pirate theme. And so we talk a little bit about what entails about being on the ship. We talk about commitment. We told these guys, if you want to be on the ship, you want to be committed, you need to start showing up and putting in extra work. There's just not enough time in the day to get better. So what we started having is we started hosting 645 weight room, open weight room. And it's strictly voluntary, but if you're going to be committed, we want you to show up. And I tell you what, our guys have done wonderful with it all spring. They've been showing up all spring, 6:45 in the morning. We've been about 45, 50 deep most of the time. And our groups kind of had a little bit of a nickname. We call it the Breakfast Club because they get up and the first thing they get in the morning and they get to work, they start eating in the weight room. Well, about a week or two ago, we had one of our freshmen kind of ask, Coach, this is a breakfast club. We ain't never had any breakfast. And so it got to a couple coaches pictured right there in the chef's hats, Coach Torres, flipping tortillas right there is Coach Alvarado. Those guys got together with our community liaison, Mr. DeLuna and HEB, and they helped out and they pitched in some food. And our guys got to cooking. And so we had our last breakfast club of the year yesterday morning. And those guys, right after we got done working out, boom, they hit the grill and we were out there and we were having breakfast and kids loved it. Kids enjoyed it. And it's all in fun. It's all a good time. Those guys were committed to showing up and putting in all that work. We want to make sure we return the favor and show the appreciation for all these guys' hard work all spring.
Now, Coach Torres there, I did take the liberty of fixing that apron for
him. Yeah, man. He had his I Love New York. I think it was his I Love New York apron on, man. I'm just glad it wasn't the Kiss the Chef one.
All right. Well, good event. And it kind of illustrates that, there's more to this than just showing up and teaching the X's and O's and that if you want the kids' commitment, you got to have the commitment from everybody, the coaches, the kids, the community.
Absolutely. One of the big things we kind of preach is that everything's a choice. All right. I am not a big screamer. I'm not a big yeller in practice. I am a firm believer in choices. You get to make choices. And so they have a choice. And things like this, they're not mandatory. We call them opportunities, and it's real simple. They have opportunities to get better. They had over 20, 25 opportunities this spring to go above and beyond and to get better. And we had absolute major commitment on our guys. It's not just football guys. We got volleyball. We got a volleyball player in there. We get basketball players in there. We got a tennis player in there. Now, majority of them are football guys, and we want everybody, but we want to absolutely let everybody know that they're all more than welcome to get in there and bang the weights around in the morning before we get to work at school.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the team for 2022. Obviously, you're seeing your kids, you're seeing the work they put in. So, who do you have coming back, and what do you think you're going to look like on the field?
Oh, you know what? We're going to be a little young. We did lose a heavy senior class, about 15 deep. A couple guys I'm really excited about is he's a defensive lineman for us. He's also played some offensive line for us, and he's actually going to switch and move to a little bit of fullback. An H for us is Zayden Belize. Zayden Belize, all South Texas defensive lineman for us last year. He's going to be a senior. He will be a 4-year varsity football player for us this year. Another guy is Zedric DeLeon. Zedric started at some linebacker for us last year. He also started at some running back slot receiver for us this past year. And we're going to use them on both of those guys on both sides of the football this year. Those two guys, I want to give an extra compliment to, because all this stuff you see all those guys at Breakfast Club, all those things. Those two guys play a big part in that. It's a lot of me not having to go talk to people about stuff. Those guys are getting them up here. They're getting them up here to work after school. It's real senior leadership is what we're seeing. Those two guys are going to be huge for us. We're going to have some big guys up front on the offensive line. Xavier Rodriguez going to be our starting left tackle. Zach Reeves is going to play the O-line for us. And those guys have been silly strong. They've been making big gains in the weight room. This senior class is special. We're going to be young on the skill side of it. But what I'm excited about is the senior leadership, because this senior group will be the first group that has been here with us, with this coaching staff and this program for 4 full years. This group was incoming eighth graders when I got here in the spring. So this will be the first group that we get to have as coaching staff all 4 years. And we're excited to go to work.
Now, one of the things I'm trying to do with these interviews is talk about some of the elements of coaching that aren't obvious to the people from outside. So if you don't mind, walk us through your coaching history. Where did you start, and how'd you wind up where you are?
I am a Sinton, Texas native. And once I graduated from Texas A&M, you see in the background, I got hired back at Sinton to coach some softball. But in the meantime, they're going to let me try to coach some football anyways, too. The athletic director there was Tom Allen. Tom, I can't speak. I can't speak any higher than anybody else can on Tom. He's a phenomenal human being. He's a fantastic coach, athletic director, great guy to work for. I worked 3 years for Tom. First time I worked for Tom, I worked for him for 3 years. And the thing about Sinton, Texas at that time, no turnover. The guys had been coaching there, had coached me in high school, had been there. I grew up with their kids. And it was a great place to be. And so there wasn't a lot of turnover. So as a young coach trying to move up the ranks, trying to advance, not a lot of movement there, just because it's such a great place to be. Well, I was working with one assistant there, AJ Martinez. He was Coach Allen's defense coordinator there at Sinton. And you might know AJ. He's the assistant athletic director at UIL now. He's in charge of football, actually. So I work with him, and he kind of took me under his wing a little bit. And it's always been a great friend relationship, but it's also been kind of like a big brother relationship. If there was any work as I did as a young assistant, he'd always let me know that there's some way to make it better. And a lot of times that kind of frustrate me. And so it was more about, hey, you know what, I'm going to make it better. I'm going to get him to shut up a little bit. But he always pushed me at the end and helped me become a greater coach. And sure enough, he gets the athletic director job, head football job in Odom. And he asked me to go. I kind of talked to Coach Allen, and one big thing I respect about Coach Allen is he always said, you know, if there's a better job out there, you come talk to me, let me see what I can do. And if it's still a better move for you, I have no problem being honest. And I truly appreciate it, because I went in there and I told him what the deal was. I said, Coach Martinez is going to make me a coordinator. I'm going to get to grow a little bit as a coach. And he just looked at me, smiled, and said, well, Coach, I wish you the best of luck. And it was a blessing. Moved over, started coaching and teaching in Odom. I did, after 3 years in Sinton, I did 6 years in Odom. 1 year I called the defense. The other years I was the offensive coordinator. We had some special years, man. We had some special kids in Odom. Kind of lit the offense on fire. And 6 years there, after being the offense coordinator and an assistant principal at the middle school, Coach Martinez got the job at Corpus Christi Carroll. So I went over with Coach Martinez to Corpus Christi Carroll. We were there for about a year. And at the end of that year, he got the assistant AD job at the UIL, which is something he'd already shared with me. That was always kind of a dream, you know, that higher administration. And once he told me that, I kind of knew he was gone, and I couldn't be more happy for him. So it was kind of in limbo, kind of in flux. And I got a call from Tom Allen again, and Coach Allen gave me a call and said, all right, man, what's your plan? Coach, I don't have one. And he kind of told me that, well, I'm getting closer to retirement. And for me, I always loved working for him. I always appreciated it as the lowly bottom assistant, trying to work your way up. I appreciated it. And he offered me a job as an assistant head coach. And I couldn't think of anything better to do to work for a great man like that again. So I went and I told Tom, I'm here till you retire. Worked for him for one more year. And then at the end of the year, he decided to retire. That point in time, the Mathis job had opened up. It opened up the year before, but we were just getting to Carroll. And I was committed to working for Coach Martinez. And so I didn't apply for it the year before. It opened up again. I said, there's no way I'm not applying for it this time. Went, applied for it, got it. And I've been here now for 3+ years. It's been exciting. It's been great. I love this. This is like football loving town. They love all athletics, and they're very passionate. It's great. You don't have to worry about things. You call parent, ask parent, hey, can we get this for our kid? And then that they're there for it. And it's been awesome. As for moving up the ranks, I can tell anybody that's an assistant that wants to be an athletic director, head football coach, don't be afraid to do the dirty jobs and do them before you get asked to do them. That's the one thing that I learned is, man, if there's laundry, wash it. If there's something that needs to be done, go do it. Be proactive. I think that's the best thing you can do as an assistant to help out your athletic director, to your head coaches, is to go be proactive and keep them in the loop and just say, hey, coach, there'll be so many different things you believe that you'd say, hey, coach, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, do this. I'm going to take care of it. And a lot of times head coach will be like, yeah, let's do it. Thanks. Appreciate you. Come on. And I think that's the biggest thing moving up the ranks is, do whatever you can to possibly help kids, take care of kids. That's a big mantra around here, taking care of kids. And while you're doing so, work your butt off as hard as you can. And it's amazing how lucky that you'll get when it comes to moving up the ranks and getting jobs.
Amazing how the luckiest people are the people that put in the most work.
That's what my daddy always said.
All right, so one more question for you before I let you go, Coach. Can you tell me one thing about Trae Stevens that most people don't know?
I'll give you two. The first thing is that I'm actually half Asian. Sometimes I get confused for Hispanic, especially being from South Texas, or white, which I'm half, though it's not completely wrong. But my mother is from Singapore. My mother's from Singapore, and my mother's half Chinese, half Indian, and so I'm a quarter. And it's awesome. I got all my family in Singapore still. We're kind of jokingly, we see how all the great things that the Hispanic Coaches Association is doing for Hispanic coaches, and we always laugh. We're like, man, you know what? We need to get the Texas High School Asian Coaches Association together. All four of us will get together at coaching school, and we'll make it a big shindig between the four of us. But that's definitely one thing that I'm very proud of our Asian heritage. And luckily, these last couple of years, we've been blessed enough to be able to travel back to Singapore. So my wife gets to see our family, and then this next trip, my baby daughter will get to meet a lot of that side of the family. That's one thing. And then the other one, I am colorblind. I'm definitely tone deaf also, if you ever heard me singing. But I'm colorblind, which it makes it a little different sometimes when we're trying to do certain things. We're like, hey, red this or green that. And I'm like, guys, it all looks the same to me, man. So plus, if you ever see me out and I'm ever mismatched, just kind of mind your business, because I don't know any better anyways. No reason to kill the vibe.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you very much for your time today, and best of luck on the 2022 season.
Tony, I want to say thank you, first of all, for all that, and I appreciate that. But I'd like to also say thank you for everything that you do for Texas high school football, coaches, kids alike, and the whole thing, man. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.